the main short-term risk for the region are not directly related to Iran itself, but are directly related to the Iran war and how this wider regional environment, and I would say global environment, also has normalized the idea of escalation, of the use of force. This is a really dangerous dynamics. Then we've got the second short-term implication that concern the Gulf states. We know that countries like United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Qatar as well, uh, they during the last 2 decades become a real important partners for many African states, many Horn of African states. So the ongoing war in Iran most probably will force them to, in some way, to divert their resources, their attention to closer regional crises. A main risk could be an escalation of the ongoing civil war in Sudan, with the Gulf states, the two main Gulf states, Saudi Arabia and UAE, that are focused more on the Iran war and the defense of their own soil. Most probably other actors could get more involved. I would say Egypt, maybe Turkey, and maybe the warring parties could be in some way force or persuade to act. So I also do expect some change in the behavior of local actors. I thinking about Egypt. Egypt is the less involved in Iran war in comparison with the Gulf states. And for Egypt, that could be the right moment to support the Sudanese army forces and maybe to support a strong offensive against the rapid support forces.
In other words, the Iran war could uh, seriously change the dynamics and developments in the Sudan war.
I think so. There are some evidences that it seems that Sudanese army forces is ready to launch a strong offensive in order to retake control of some of the Western Sudanese area. Of course, we have to consider also the reaction of the rapid support forces. But the main point from my point of view, that is a general, not only to Sudan civil war, but in general for the region, is that the Iran war uh, changes is not who has agency, but the external condition under which the agency is exercised. So I think that more permissive condition to some local actors could push them to act. There's this logic of an environment of anything goes and no one cares about the actors are doing. And this is really dangerous on multiple scenarios. I mean, Ethiopia-Eritrea, Somalia as well, Somaliland, and Sudan, of course.
How might the conflict reshape the broader geopolitical dynamics that is affecting the Horn of Africa?
I think that the conflict could reshape regional geopolitics. Of course, we have to consider, as I mentioned before, the Gulf state. The Gulf states are central here. Egypt and Turkey could become even more important and even more involved in some of the ongoing crises. Of course, all the focus are on the Sudanese civil war due to the humanitarian cost and the drama of the people there, but there are multiple crises that are ongoing in the region. I would say Eritrea and Ethiopia border tension. I would say Somalia with the decision to postpone the election and also with the problems with some federal member states. We've got South Sudan with many problems within the elite and the power sharing is also almost collapsed right now.
Thank you so much, Federico. Is there something you feel that we have not touched upon in order to get the big picture here?
The environment in which we are living right now. I mean, there are no more rules. It seems there are no more rules because many actors and some of them are even the great powers like the United States are acting beyond the rules. So and this is dangerous. This is maybe one of the most dangerous period in the international system life, because it's when we overcome old rules and we do not have new rules coming.